Alrighty, looks like we are live. Hi, I want to talk about habits today. Habits will make or break our lives. Habits, you know, if we have good habits, life is easy. If we have bad habits, life becomes very difficult. And the absolute worst of the bad habits are the immediate gratification. Okay, when we engage in immediate gratification, what happens? We drink, we smoke, we overeat, we indulge in overspending. Then we put ourselves in a terrible situation. So, habits, it's time for us to start thinking, okay, what are some good habits? What are some of my bad habits? What can I do about them? I spoke with someone the other day and she said that she's 19 and she had just started making her bed every day, and it gave her a wonderful sense of accomplishment first thing in the morning. That is a great habit. Make your bed first thing as soon as you get out of it. Boom. You know, Many people that go to the gym and make a priority of the gym, what do? They roll out of bed, get a cup of coffee, put on those workout clothes, and head off to the gym. Boom. Before they do anything else, check email, anything else, out. And they get that gym over with. Because you know how it is. As the day goes on, you get tired. Then you don't want to work out. So, yes, habits make and break our lives. If you smoke and the first thing you do every day is you have your cup of coffee and you put it with that cup of coffee, you have a cigarette. Oh my goodness. You give yourself a hit first thing in the morning and you start your day with that way. And then in your mind, you always associate that smoking, that cigarette, with that first cup of coffee and that relief. That relief, how much we love, those of us that drink coffee, we love our morning coffee. You get that drink of coffee, it's like, wow, yeah, I can go now today. I'm ready to roll. And some days I love coffee. I drink it every morning. And some days I don't. And I think, I feel just as good. I don't really need the coffee, but it's not a habit that I'm planning to break. Anyway, so habits, I think a lot of times people have bad habits, especially drinking and drugging, are nothing but habits. They're not, it's not a moral failure. It's a habit that has taken over the life. Many people don't drink all their lives and they retire, and the next thing you know, they're drinking. They can't stop every day. It's like, I'm not going to drink today. And then by 10 a.m., they're drunk. Why? Because they're bored, because they haven't found some better habits. What about those that don't, I wash the dishes as I dirty them, okay? So I cook and I eat, and then I immediately wash everything up. Sometimes I try to wash as I go along before I sit down to eat my meal. But I make sure when I'm done eating, before I leave that kitchen, those dishes are done. Now that's a habit. I do not like to look at that sink with dishes in it. So if I see a dish in it, I'll clean it, I'll wash it and set it in the strainer. That's a habit. And I developed a habit. Now I think I got that habit from my mother. You could have eaten off the floors at our house. My mother was a fabulous housekeeper, and she had so many wonderful good habits. I think I'm going to start crying. She was a lovely woman. God rest her soul. Anyway, so habits, and I want you to get good habits. I want you to start thinking, well, you know what? I can change my life. One habit that too many people have is sitting in front of the television and letting their life roll by. When I was 62, I took piano lessons for the first time ever in my life. And I practiced a few songs, but my piano teacher, she was my piano teacher was an elementary school teacher. And so come after Thanksgiving, she said, Martha, I want you to play in the recital. Now, the recital is children and their parents and grandparents. And I said, okay, I'll do it. Why not? So I practiced and practiced and practiced my song From This Moment by Shania Twain. Really a wonderful melody. And I practiced and practiced. So the day came, and my turn came after the 5-year-old played her little fingers on that piano. It was so cute. And here she played a cute little song. And then I played, and then after me was a 10-year-old who wrote his own music. The kid was phenomenal. And he played the entertainer, which is a really difficult piece. But you know what? None of that mattered. I didn't compare myself to them. I compared myself to me. And what was really wonderful was that after the show was over, a lot of parents and grandparents came up to me and they said, wow, you have inspired me to do new things. I always wanted to paint. I always wanted to take up gardening, flower arranging, whatever. You have inspired me. So yes, it doesn't matter. Okay, here's another story. I took voice lessons at 66, singing lessons at 66. And and why am I telling you this about habits? Because, to learn the piano, I had to get a new habit, practicing every day for one thing. And then I tried to learn it the easy way with the numbers on the keys. And my teacher, I put the numbers on the keys and she pulled them all off. She said, Martha, you are not going to do that because you have to learn to read music. So then, because I decided on a whim I'm going to learn how to play piano, I also learned how to read music, which was a wonderful benefit. Anyway, so back to singing lessons. Okay, I'm 66 and I think, oh, you know what? I think I'll take some singing lessons because I would just get on stage. There would be bands playing and I'd say, can I sing? And I would sing Jolene. All right, I would sing Jolene, and I was good. I told a story about how Dolly got in a fight with Jolene, and Jolene pulled Dolly's wig off her head and beat her with it. Anyway, but Dolly got her man. Dolly got her man. But anyway, so I would just go on stage and sing, and I was good. I can't believe it. Jolene's a hard song, and I was good. And what's it have to do with habits? Because, you have to break out of your rut and start new habits. Well, anyway, so I hadn't been on stage for, I don't know, a year or two. And I go to this karaoke, this event, and they had karaoke. So I get up and I sing Jolene, and it was terrible. Oh my goodness. I was so off key. It was funny. And then when I finished, and I did the whole song, and when I finished, I looked out and everybody's just like looking at me. And one guy gave me a pity clap. He's like, they were like, what do we do what do we do? She was so bad. And I remember I looked out and I thought, you know what? Okay, next. It didn't bother me a bit. Why? Because it's not, my goal wasn't to get accolades and to be praised for my singing. My goal was to get the courage to go up there and do it. And I did. I went up there and did it. So that's another thing about habits. We've got to start getting into those habits, breaking out of doing the same thing all the time. Otherwise, if we're always doing the same thing, watching TV, hanging with the same people that are whining and crying, our life is never going to change. How about, I'll go places and people are in their pajamas. And I used to just wear any old thing, just any old thing. What difference does it make? You know what? When I started wearing dresses and dressing up a little bit, wow, it makes a gigantic difference. Not only that, then now I'm starting to notice some of my friends, they're stepping up a little bit too. See, these are all habits. Habits. Are you always shopping at Dollar Tree? Maybe you should try a higher end store. Maybe something with a little bit more pizzazz to it. Make you feel like you're a little bit more opulent, deserving. And that's another habit. Well, I'll talk about this more. I'm giving a big workshop next Friday, July 7th at 5 p.m. So I'll do 30 or 40 minutes and we'll talk about how to break some of these darn habits. So it's next Friday, July 7th, 5 p.m. I'll do another Facebook Live and we'll talk about how to break some of these bad habits. But anyway, yeah, going to the store, going around in your pajamas, that's silly. Silly, who do you think you are? You don't think enough of yourself if you do that. Ladies, if you wear makeup, darn, put it on and go out. And, okay, here's another habit. Some people are in the habit of not moving. Goodness gracious, get up and go to the mailbox. Do something. Hey, Shelly, thanks for coming. Hi, Gavin. Hey, you guys, thanks so much for being here. It's my first Facebook Live. I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun. And I need to get to the gym. I had an appointment with somebody this morning, and I put my dress on because I always look nice when I have an appointment. And that's a new habit, too. That's a habit. I love my new habits. All right, well, I don't want to keep you all day, and I need to get to the gym. And I thank both of you so much for coming to my first Facebook Live. I'm doing them every day. Probably do one tomorrow from the gym because I love the gym. I absolutely love the gym, and that has become such a habit for me. I never missed a day in 120 days. And then I went on a cruise because that's why I went to the gym. I mean, yeah, because at that cruise, I wanted to wear a certain dress. And I had to lose at least 30 pounds to wear the dress. So I hung the dress up in my room and I looked at it every single day. And I'll be darned, that dress got me out of that bed every morning, into my gym shoes and to the gym. And I went every day for 120 days until the day of the cruise. But you know what? I had to stay at a hotel the night before. And I went to the gym that night too, because and so I didn't break my streak. And I even went to the gym when I was on the cruise. But you know what? It was so easy to gain that habit. Why? Because I had a goal. That's another thing. Hey, Shelly, thanks so much for being here. Love you, girl. All right, I was going to call. In fact, I'll call you when I'm done with this. I want to tell you something, and then I've got to get my butt to the gym. And that's another thing. Goodness gracious. This is the last thing. A lady was at the gym the other day. I've been going to the gym now 6 months. 6 months. And this woman was looking at me. And she goes, I saw you when you first came here 6 months ago. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying again. And she goes, wow, have you changed? Yeah. I lost 40 pounds. I tightened up my muscles. I'm stronger. I'm more mobile. I'm more flexible. You know that thing. Walker, wheelchair, or nursing home. I'm not going, girl. I'm not going. Uh-uh. I'm going to the gym. All right. Hey, you guys, thanks so much for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow sometime when I get to the gym. You know what? I'll try to invite. I'll send I'll send out I'll send an invite on my messenger tomorrow. Woohoo! Every day you learn something new. Hey, you guys, make it a fabulous day and do something to bust some kind of habit. Either get a new good one, or delay an old one. All right, you guys, thanks. Bye.